welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm back with my 2-month post-op update, which is it's just a little bit crazy. I'm not entirely sure how we've hit 2 months post-op already. Like, time is going super quickly. So in this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what the past month has been like, what I've noticed, what's happened, and then at the end of the video, we'll talk about my weight loss for this month. If you want to see how I did this makeup, I did just film a chatty get ready with me that is coming on Wednesday, so subscribe if you want to stick around and see that chaos. It was a bit chaotic, I'm not gonna lie, guys, but if you want to see how I did this makeup and hear a little bit more of my life outside surgery, then stick around, subscribe, and watch that video when it comes on Wednesday if you so wish to. But this month there's been a lot of changes this month. So this month I moved on to the next stage, or kind of the final stage really, of eating, which is well, there's no name for it, it's just my new normal. I had completed the liquid, pureed and soft food stages and got to the point where I was ready to move on to my new normal. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar with sort of the bariatric diet, my new normal looks like a lot smaller portions. I can still only eat about 4 or 5 tablespoons of food a meal. And I should eat sort of 5 or 4 small meals a day rather than 3 bigger meals. And I can have about, if I'm going to have any carbs, so rice or pasta, I can have about 1 tablespoon of that. And the thing that really is different about the bariatric diet is that I have to prioritize protein above all else. So if I've got food on my plate, I need to eat my protein first, and then my produce, and then my carbs. So if I've got a bit of pasta, that's got to come last, because if I get full, I need to have eaten my protein, and if I fill up on the carbs, then I'm not going to get my protein. So that's kind of my new way of eating. I'm still not having treats. I haven't had, like, I've had protein bars that have had chocolate on them, but I haven't had like chocolate sweets, crisps, anything like that just yet, because I'm a little bit nervous about having those, because especially when it comes to chocolate, I have such an addictive relationship with chocolate that I'm nervous that the first time I have chocolate, my old habits are going to come back and it's going to be all I think about and all I want to eat. So I'm kind of holding off a little bit longer. I'll probably have a piece soon, but as long as I can hold off, I think just whilst I'm settling into my new routines and figuring out my new way of life, I'm going to hold off. So it's been an absolute journey, if I'm honest, trying to figure out this new way of eating, and I'm still really on the beginning of this journey, because what I'm trying to figure out is, how do I make meals that work for both Adam, my boyfriend, and I, that give me what I need, that he's also going to enjoy, and gives him what he needs, because he doesn't need the same things as me, and what we want at the moment is probably quite different, because I'm at the stage right now where all I want is corn on the cob, juicy fruit. That's about it. Like, honestly, if I could have a salty corn on the cob with a bit of butter on, or a bit of like low fat, like, you know, like the fat-free flora spread or something on for every meal, I think I would be completely content and happy, but I would also be very, very, very ill. So same if I just stuck on fruit, because yes, I know fruit is really important and really healthy, but like I was saying before, I have to prioritize protein above all else. So what I want right now is not necessarily what I need. So I'm having to really make sure that I focus on getting my protein, but it's also like, what meals can I make that both Adam and I are going to enjoy and get what we need from? So I've bought a new cookbook. I've bought one of the Pinch of Nom books. I can't remember which one it is, but they're really good because they tell you like how many calories are in a meal and how many carbs are in a meal. And I'm not really focusing on the calories part, but the carbs is quite helpful, because if it's full of carbs, it's not going to be the best thing for me right now. Carbs are important and carbs are not evil. Like, I truly, truly believe in that. But right now, whilst I'm adjusting, the priority has to be protein. So high protein, low carb is quite important for me right now. So I've been enjoying that book, and we've had a couple of recipes from there, which we've really enjoyed. We made the Tuscan creamy chicken the other day, which was so good. And then yesterday we had honey and harissa chicken thighs, which we've got some for lunch, which I'm excited about, and that was so good. So I just would have like the chicken and like a spoonful of rice or a spoonful of potato to go alongside, and I've been enjoying that. For breakfast I've been trying to have like a poached egg on a slice of toast or something like that. I don't tend to be able to eat the whole thing. I usually have about 2/3. And then for lunch, I've probably been having more like picky bits. So I'll have some like chicken with maybe like a cheese string and then some fruit or some nuts. Like I'm loving cashew nuts at the moment. That's another thing that I'm loving, which is good for protein, but you know, a small amount of nuts can add up to quite a lot of calories. And like I said, I'm not focusing on calories at the moment, but I am sort of aware of them in the background. Like I don't have a calorie goal. The only thing I have is a goal for protein and a goal for water. Speaking of, got to keep drinking. So it's taking quite a bit of time for me to figure this out. Like I feel like for the first sort of 6 weeks I was surviving. I was just doing what I needed to do to survive and to cope and to get something in my body. And now it's about figuring out what I need to do to thrive and enjoy life and give myself everything that I need to be healthy in this new bariatric way of living. There's a lot of gas, guys. Gas is something that is a huge part of a post-surgery journey for most people, I think. But gas tells me a lot. It tells me when I'm full, and it tells me when I've eaten something that isn't quite right, but it also just happens like constantly throughout the day. I think it's something that lessens as time goes on post-surgery, but right now I'm a burpy person. It's a bit embarrassing, but I can't, it'll hurt if I keep it in, and I mean, it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. I went out for dinner for the first time this month. In fact, I've been out for dinner twice. I'm going out for dinner again tonight, and I'm really excited. We went out to Mowgli's in Manchester for a work stew, and that was my first time eating out, so I was a little bit nervous, especially when it turned out we were having like sharing platters. But that actually worked out to be the perfect thing, because I could try a couple of different things, but I also could just get what I needed. So I had like focused mostly on like the chicken part of the curry. So I had a tiny bit of rice and a tiny taste of bread. Like I think it was like about as big as my thumb, the bit of bread that I had to taste. I should cut these burps out, but I want to be realistic. This is the journey and the experience I'm having. So it really did teach me that I can eat out while still hitting my goals and my priorities. I just have to think about it. And me and my friend went to Wagamama's a couple of days later, and I ordered pretty much what I would normally order. So I'd normally get the duck, oh God, what's the word? Big Brens with a B. I'll put it on the screen. But I got the chicken one because it was a little bit less fatty, and I ate mostly just the chicken with a tiny bit of rice. And then I got a to-go bowl and I left most of the rice there and brought home just the chicken, and I had another 2 meals out of it. So it does show me that I can still live a normal life and have social events and go out. I just have to make adaptations and think a bit carefully, and that's what I'll do tonight. I will pick something that either I can eat a little bit of and take home, or I'll get a starter or a child's portion or something like that. Like, having weight loss surgery isn't the end of my life. In fact, it's just the beginning, but it's not gonna mean that I can't be social, I can't go out with my friends, I can't do the things I love. I just need to think a little bit carefully and a little bit differently about how I do that. Something else that's new this month is that I am allowed to exercise again. Now, pre-pandemic, I actually loved going to the gym. For someone who hates going for walks, I like going to the gym. I love doing like weightlifting, so like body pump classes. I enjoyed like aqua classes, like aqua aerobics, that aqua zumba, that sort of thing. And I even loved spin. Now spin, it's going to take me a while to get back into because I need to get my fitness levels back up again so I don't feel like I'm going to pass out and die. But I am technically allowed to do spin right now. I'm just not allowed to do the bits where you stand up because I can't do any exercises that engage my core because my stomach is still healing from the trauma that I put it through. So I started back last week. I went swimming, which felt so good. Like, I was so nervous. It took me about a week and a half after being told I could go back to the gym to actually go back. And when I eventually did, it felt like swimming was the perfect, like first exercise for me to do, because it's really low impact on your joints, and it's also like I could take it at my own pace, and it's just a bit of fun. So I set out with a goal to do 10 laps, which probably isn't the most, but for me that felt like a goal that was both achievable but also would feel like I'd pushed myself. But in fact, I don't know why I'm getting snotty, guys. I don't want to rub my makeup off because I'm going out after this. I actually managed to do 15 laps, which I was so proud of. I was so freaking proud, because I did push myself, but not to the point where I was like, you know, I was out of breath and I was aching. My God, my arms were aching. But it didn't feel... Did you hear that? I live on a construction site, guys. I'm in a new build, if you don't know, and it's hot in here, so I've had to open the window. If you hear some weird noises, I do apologise, but I love you, but I'm not ready to overheat for you. Yeah, I was so proud, so proud of doing my 15 laps. So I'm gonna try swimming once a week and then doing something else like once a week. I might just do, like, go and do some stuff by myself rather than a class, because then I can take it at my own pace, I can make my own adaptations, I can just find my footing and get used to it again. So it's really nice that I can do that again, because it was something that I really wanted to do and was looking forward to being able to do again, because my fitness levels before surgery just meant that the gym felt impossible and not like an option. It wasn't. It's possible, it was an option, but mentally I just felt like I couldn't do it. So I'm really excited to feel like I can again. Just trying to think of some other things that have happened. Struggled a bit with constipation, not gonna lie. Had a couple of instances where I've been in a lot of pain. In fact, so TMI, but it was like constipation, get it out, diarrhea. So I don't know what that's about. But in all seriousness, like, I had it once in the night and then I had it last night as well, and it was so horrible. Like, I thought last night was period pains until the toilet stuff happened, and I was like, oh, this is what happened last time. But it hurts, like, it hurts. So I think I need to look into getting some more fibre into my diet, because maybe that's something that I'm missing that's affecting my inner workings. So that's happened a couple of times. I'm hoping that doesn't become a common occurrence, because it's horrible. So let me just log on to my scales app. I've got one of those scales where it like links to your phone. I'll put the link to it in the chat, in the description, because they were quite cheap. I think they were like £20, and they're Bluetooth to your phone, so it just records everything and it tells you about like your BMI, your body fat, your skeletal mass, your muscle mass, your like loads of stuff that I don't really understand, but I just love that it links to my phone and it's just, I've got all the data. So in the past 4 weeks I've lost 5.4 pounds. So this is something I do really want to talk about, because I've struggled a lot with that. Let me be honest with you guys, I've struggled a lot with that. I had a couple of weeks where I stalled, I had a week where I put ½ pound on, and yes, at the end of it I've come out and I've lost 5.4 pounds, which is still a good loss. That's, you know, what is that over 4 weeks? 5.4 divided by 4. I've still lost 1.25 pounds a week on average, and I should be happy with that, and I shouldn't be concerned by stalls, because there's so many medical reasons why at this point in my journey I would stall. I know that, I know the facts, and if you want me to go into stalls in more detail and why they happen and why I shouldn't worry about them, let me know, because I can do that in like a Q&A or something. But it has been bothering me, and I think it's because I put my body through, and myself through, so much with this surgery, that when you look at the scales and you see you've stayed the same, or you've put a bit on, or you've not lost much, mentally that's really quite hard to take. And I was talking about this in my last video, how I'm struggling with how attached I've become to the scales when I've spent so long detaching from the scales and taking my self-worth and just away from the scales, like taking the scale, making the scales not a factor in how I think about myself. And I feel like that's really coming back. And so this month, I'm gonna try and not weigh myself for 4 weeks, which for someone like me who is super nosy and just wants to know everything now is gonna be really difficult. And I'm not gonna be mad at myself if a week in I want to check, because I have been weighing every day. I've been, like, honestly, since I started this journey, I've been weighing every day, and it's because I used to believe the theory that if you weighed yourself every day, you could get an average and it would be more accurate. And I always thought that didn't affect me, but I think it is affecting me. So my goal is to not weigh for 4 weeks. If I get to the point where I'm weighing weekly, then that's still an achievement, and I'll give myself the grace to know that I'm still on this journey, and if I feel the need or the desire to really check, I'd rather check than feel that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give myself some grace, but my goal is to not weigh for 4 weeks, and then just look at it as a month rather than being so tied into the morning routine of jumping on the scales and feeling disappointed, because I don't think it's doing me the best. And I just wanted to be honest about that, because I still have my old demons that I dealt with, but I think they're still, like, they didn't completely go away. I think I spent a lot of time learning to accept myself as I was and to detach from the scales, and I made so much progress. But I do think this is showing me that it was probably still there, like well beneath the surface. But I honestly think that if you have experienced being severely overweight and you've spent your whole life like me being severely underweight, I don't think you can ever get rid of those demons. Like, I think there's always going to be like occurrences and times and reasons why they come back up to the surface, and obviously this, like, as much as this journey is incredible and the best thing I think I will have ever done for myself, and I do not regret it at all, it is triggering something. So I think that the one thing that I can do to try and affect that is to weigh myself less and to try and take notice of the other things. So now that I'm going to the gym, I can start tracking that. So I did 15 laps last time. Can I do 16? Can I do 17? And start to track my progress in how I feel, which is really what this was about. Like, I did my surgery because I wanted to feel better in my body and in the world. And the number on the scale shouldn't affect that, but because, and again, I talked about this in my last video, it's been the only indicator I've had till now as to how successful I've been with this journey. Not that I want the scales to be my, like, measure of success, but it was the only measure I had for a long time. It kind of makes sense as to why I've been a little bit attached and hooked to what the scale says. So that's my goals for this month. I want to do my best to only weigh myself in 4 weeks' time. Give myself grace if I feel like I need to do it once a week. I want to go to the gym twice a week. I want to do swimming and one other thing. And I just want to pay more attention to how I feel in my body. Like, I noticed yesterday I walked up the 2 flights of stairs, and yes, I was still out of breath and aching, but it wasn't as bad as it was before surgery. So that is progress. Like, at the end of the day, I've been on this journey for 10 weeks. So I'm 8 weeks post-op, and I did the pre-op diet for 2 weeks. So I've been on this journey for 8 weeks. And in those 8 weeks, I have lost a total of, bear with me, 45.2 pounds. 45.2 pounds over 10 weeks is 4.5 pounds a week. Why am I beating myself up for losing an average of 4.5 pounds a week? Like, it kind of is ridiculous. I've lost 45 pounds. That's coming up to 3.5 stone, and I should be happy with that. So I'm hoping that by detaching again from the scales and focusing more on the differences that I feel in my body, I can start to feel more satisfied and at ease and comfortable with the journey that I'm on. Can anyone else relate? Anyone else? Well, in fact, I'm pretty sure everyone else who's been on a similar journey to me stalled at some point, because it's medically, like, it's a thing. There's medical science behind why it happens. Like I said, let me know if you want to know more about that. So let me know in the comments. Like, I think it's so helpful for me when I'm sharing my story for me, because I can see that I'm not the only one going through things, you know, like, a problem shared is a problem halved. So let me know in the comments if you have experienced what I'm experiencing, and maybe, like, what did you do to cope with it? What did you put in place to protect yourself, and how did you get out of this feeling? I would really love to know, because I'm sure this is super relatable, like it's a part of the journey. I know a lot of people experience this, so let me know in the comments. So I think I'm going to wrap that up for this video. I'll be back again in 4 weeks to give you my 3-month post-op. Like, I'm doing it every 4 weeks, so it's not technically 3 months, but you know what I mean. I'm doing it every 4 weeks. And I'll probably do another Q&A this month, so if you've got any questions that you want me to answer or anything you want me to talk about. And I want to try and do a what I eat in a day video as well this month. It'll probably be later in the month because I'm still trying to figure that out. Still trying to figure it out, but if I do figure it out, I'll do a video. If there's any like surgery content that you want to see, anything like that, again, pop it in the comments so that I can see and I can make a plan and I can keep making this content for you, because I'm really enjoying and finding it really helpful for myself making this content and documenting this journey, especially when I hear from you guys about your journey as well. So thank you so much for anyone who shares anything from their experience with me. It's so helpful to know I'm not alone. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be my chitty chatty get ready with me where I did this makeup look. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.